I bet somewhere a lady is shopping for dresses, comparing values and the praise. Hey, we got to do it over. I said dresses. It's not dresses.
That's the part you wrote.
I know it. Okay, I've got to say britches. I got so into the dresses there that shopping for dresses. I bet somewhere a lady is shopping for britches, comparing values, appraising each pair. Maybe someday the good Lord will bring us together, and we'll both have a new wardrobe to wear.
Sing for me now.
Shopping for dresses, but no one to wear them. One in each color, and one in each style. Maybe someday I'll find a lady to wear them, and my shopping will be done for a while.
My shopping will be done for a while.
A few years ago, West Virginia Public Broadcasting TV station had the honor of interviewing Little Jimmy Dickens, and here's part of that.
I'm a plain old country boy, a cornbread-loving country boy. I raise cane on Saturday, but I go to church on Sunday. I'm a plain old country boy, a tater-eating country boy. I'd be looking over that old gray mule when the sun comes up on Monday.
You were a Depression baby.
Yes, I was.
Describe your home life. You came from a very big family.
Well, I did come from a big family, but my grandmother raised me and my grandpa, and my folks are all coal miners. They worked for Raleigh, Wyoming Mining Company, and nothing easy about coal mining for a living. But we all got by, and there was more love in our family than the money. But we all got by, and there was always plenty to eat and clothing, and so I had a nice childhood.
You were one of 13 children?
Yes,
is that correct?
I'm the oldest in the family, and I'll be 87 in December.
December 19th?
Yes, ma'am.
Are your brothers and sisters still around? Were you able to remain close to them?
I have two sisters that live down at Fairdale, which is just a short way from Beckley, and an aunt that lives at Bolt, and I go visit them every spring and every fall.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you remember about your grandparents? You remember your grandfather going to work on horseback.
Well, I remember that he was a tough old gentleman. He rode through snowbanks and all, rode horseback over the mountain from Bolt to down the other side into Glen Rogers was where they worked. He did that for 17 years and never missed a day's work.
And your grandmother, again, these were hard times. And your grandmother was very gracious to those that would come by and needed some help.
Absolutely. She always had something, food for people that they were traveling through, and families, like there'd be a man and his wife and maybe 3 or 4 children, and they'd stay around with us for 2 or 3 days and then go on into Glen Rogers, where they were headed for. And we gave them a warm place to sleep and food and helped them out. She did, my grandmother.
Were times tough for your family during that time?
Well, by my grandfather working every day, we got along very well. And it was tough on a lot of families there in West Virginia and where we lived. And my grandmother would always raise the big garden, and she'd help everybody out with that, with what she raised in the garden, and canned everything that she could can.
So there were obviously some lessons that you learned from your grandparents about work and family.
I think they taught me honesty more than anything else. And I'm proud that they did, because I've always been honest with my fans and with the people that support me. And they come first with me.
Did anyone in your family play or sing?
I can't remember a time when there wasn't a guitar or an old banjo or something around our house. And my mother played guitar and sang a few old folk songs, and my uncle played the old banjo, and he'd just plunk on it and sing the old folk songs like the Jesse James story and Barbara Allen and all those things. And so I was raised up with music in my family. None of them played professionally, but just for their own amusement.
And so they taught you to sing and to play?
Well, while they were working, I was trying to learn what I saw them do the night before.
That's neat. And there was no electricity in your home, correct? Until you had grown up and moved off.
I studied through high school by a coal oil line, and that had to be blown out at 8 o'clock.
Because you needed some for tomorrow night.
Yes, ma'am.
It must just seem surreal at times for you to be where you are today and to think back.
Determination. I had a little old $12 guitar, and I carried it in a pillowcase. And I'd hitchhike from Bolts to Beckley to WJLS. And I'd go over there and get with some groups that were playing there and worm my way in, and they'd let me sing one song maybe a week on the radio. And they'd take me out to the little theaters and the schools that they played. And the Bales brothers were there with Molly O'Day and Mel Steele and his group. And they'd all let me go out with them on their personal appearances. And I had a little postcard picture that I sold for $0.10, and sometimes I'd make $1.50 or $2, a night, and that was good for me.
And how old were you at that time?
Oh, I don't know. I was still in high school.
Was it because of the love of music and you felt you wanted to do this, or was this a business decision even in high school? I
had my eyes set for some day that I'd go to the Grand Ole Opry. And I had 10 years of experience in radio, but Mr. Acuff was the reason I went to the Opry. Mr. Acuff came to Music Hall in Cincinnati when I was at WLW. And I went and got acquainted with these boys in these band as they were unloading, and they took me in and introduced me to Mr. Acuff, and he asked me what I did, and I told him that I did early morning programs on WLW, and he said, "Would you like to sing a song on the show today?" And I said, "Well, I'd be thrilled to death to do that." So he liked what I did, and we corresponded for about 2 or 3 years, and I got a call to come to the Grand Ole Opry and do a guest appearance on Red Foley's NBC program. And I went down there and did that, and it worked for me. People liked what we did.
Yeah, I guess it kind of worked for you.
It did work for me. And then the second time that I was invited as a guest, he told me to bring my belongings because he thought that he had arranged for me to stay with them. And I've been there since 1948. Which
makes you the longest tenured performer of the Grand Ole Opry in the longest running live radio show. Quite an achievement. You're known as the king of novelty songs.
Yes, I kind of got branded with the novelty songs when I first recorded Old Cold Tater.
When I was a little boy around the table at home, I remember very well when company would come. I would have to be right still until the whole crowd ate. My mom always said to me, Jim, take a tater and wait.
And then I had to follow that some with a record in the same vein. So I did Plain Old Country Boy, and then I did Sleeping at the Foot of the Bed. And Sleeping at the Foot of the Bed was an old poem that Mr. Acuff used to recite in his concerts when he did his concerts. But a friend of mine put a melody to it, and we recorded it, and it was perfect for, for what I was doing.
Did you ever sleep at the foot of the bed when the weather was a whistling cold and the wind was whistling around the house and the moon was yellow as gold, and you give your good warm mattress up to Aunt Lizzie and Uncle Fred? Too many kin folks on a bad night, so you went to the foot of the bed.
Do you think that the novelty songs somewhat overshadowed some of those ballads because they are beautiful?
I know they did, because the DJs knew me as the little funny guy, and they couldn't picture me doing the ballad songs. But I always put one on every novelty song that I did.
What was your favorite ballad?
I think I did a song one time that's been very popular for me through the years. And it's called "We Could." It's a lovely song.
If anyone could fall in love.
Yeah, and it's been recorded by several other people since I did.
Can you recite a little bit of that for us? Either recite it or sing a few bars.
If anyone could find the joy that true love brings a girl and boy, we could. Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
With so many achievements under your belt in this long career, what do you most want to be remembered for?
Honesty. Honest with my fans. Honest with the people I worked for. And determined to be better all the time. I've never been satisfied with any one particular performance that I've done, because I always felt that I could have done it a little bit better. And that's the way I want to be remembered.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm sending red roses to you.
That was an interview by Little Jimmy Dickens done by a West Virginia PBS television station. You can find that on the internet, on YouTube. Little Jimmy Dickens interview. It comes in two parts, but we spliced it up a little bit there. And lad saying, boy, this sure brings back a lot of memories. Deja vu. He mentioned the interview that he did with Louisa and Friends. I just edited that down less than a week ago, lad. I got it out. We played one part of it about a year and a half ago. It was a while back, but then we got had a bad year with 2003 and a lot of tribute shows and all that. But I do have it here, and I have it all edited out. I was going to intertwine it with your new album, Picture in a Frame, and we're going to do that hopefully on the next show in 2 weeks from today, hopefully on the 17th. So look forward to that. Louisa and Friends with Lad Dunham, who was interviewed by Louisa, was a station up in Canada, I think in the Halifax area, if I'm not mistaken. So we're looking forward to that. We'll get a couple of parts on up and running on that. So it's just a few more minutes, 5 more minutes or so, and then we're going to put the cork in the bottle and send you on your way and hopefully have a great day. From the album Raisin' the Dickens, here he is, Little Jimmy Dickens.
From the great Atlantic Ocean to the wide Pacific shore, she climbs the flowering mountains or the hill and by the shore. Although she's tall and handsome and known quite well by all, she's a regular combination of the Wabash Cannonball. The eastern states are dandy, so the western people say. Chicago, Rock Island, and St. Louis by the way. To the lakes of Minnesota where the river
gurgling waters fall. No chances can be taken on the Wabash Cannonball. Listen to the jingle